Hi everybody and welcome to the Planboard Series video from the EdTech teacher. In this video today, we're going to go and have a quick look at Markboard. So you can decide whether you'd like to use Markboard when it comes to collating your grades and keeping track of your students' progress. So we're going to go and have a look at that in this video. Now, I don't personally use Markboard that much myself because we have another management system that I use at school, but it is a great resource if you want to keep track of everything that you're doing and how your students are going. And it's also a little bit of a backup in case something happens out there in the world and you need those marks and grades. So at the moment, I am in my Planboard dashboard, and there's a couple of ways you can get to Markboard. I've got the Markboard logo here, which I can launch straight from my dashboard, or I can also head straight up to my taskbar up the top here and click on the Markboard button up the top here. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to click on the Markboard logo to launch Markboard. Now, obviously, this is my demo account, so I need to go and we need to set up our Markboard. I'm just going to change the semester here because I've got some sample semesters there that I'm using for another set of videos. But you can see here that all of the classes and subjects that you have created will appear as these different kind of panels. And this is where you can go in and access the Markboard component for each of these different classes. So you can see here that none of my classes have students enrolled in them at the moment. So the first thing we need to do before we can get into setting up Markboard is enroll our students. Now, there's a couple of ways that we can do this. One way is by clicking on our subject. It's going to tell us that the class is empty, and we have a couple of ways to add students. We can click on this Add Students to Class tab down the bottom here, just under this really cool backpack. We can head up here and we can click on the Students tab, or we can head up to our Markboard logo up the top here and we can go to Students there. So there's a couple of different ways that you can access and add students to your classes. So I'm just going to go back to my Markboard dashboard so that I can show you from here. So I'm going to go and add my students from this particular page here. Now, one really cool thing is you don't have to keep toggling back to change classes. If you want to go to a different Markboard class and subject, we're just going to go over here to the top left-hand corner to where I see my subject, 11 English Studies, and I can change my classes here. So I can actually go to a different class. I don't have to do any other clicks. I can just change it to another subject from this location. Nice and simple, nice and clean, nice and easy. All right, so let's go and add some students to this class. Now, there's a couple of ways you can add students. Now, if you have used Markboard before, you can actually enroll students from previous semesters. Obviously, this doesn't have any previous students, but if I go to my personal Planboard account, I can actually go in and access students from previous semesters and I can add them. You can search for students if you know their names with class lists. It's really simple. You can even go into your class lists and select that way. Obviously, as I mentioned, I don't have any because this is the demo account, but it is a really cool feature that my Planboard have added. Now, we can go and create some new students, and we can also import our student list from Google Classroom. So you can allow that access if you have that option, and you can actually attach your student and class list that way. So let's go and create some students. We'll just do a few demo students today. Now, to do this, we're going to type in our students' names, or we can actually copy and paste them if we've got them in a spreadsheet or some other format. One student per line, and you can have an optional student ID separated with a comma if you would like to do that, but that is not a necessary mandatory component. So let's go and add some extra or some people to my class. Now, you might notice I'm including some well-known EdTechers here. So if they watch this, they'll see that. Let's add Mary Kane. Okay, so we've added our students now. You can add whatever your class is, you can add them there. The copy and paste option is really easy, so you might like to put them into a spreadsheet and then go from that way. So I'm going to go down here to the blue Add Students button, and I'm going to add those students to my class. So here they are in my class. I can edit the student if I need to. So if I need to change their name around, I want to add the student ID, I can do that. I can also unenroll them from the class. So if the student leaves, changes classes, whatever, you can take them out of your Planboard, Markboard option here. Now, you can also decide how your students appear. So at the moment, I am sorting them by, well, it's the first name here, but you can go and you can change that. And you'll see once I go past this, this yellow tab here that you'll be able to sort them by A to Z or Z to A. All right, so nice and easy to add your students. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go and add some assessments. So this is where we're going to record all of our assessment details and information. So we have a couple of views. We have a card view, which is kind of like the view we had just here when we were at our Markboard dashboard. So this is like our card view. That's not a bad view. Or if you would prefer, we can actually go to our table view. And I like our table view because it sets it up like a kind of Markboard page, like a spreadsheet, which is easier for me to keep track of what's going on. So what we're going to do is we are going to click on this blue plus button here to create an assessment. So we have a couple of different types of assessments. We can have a general score, binary, we can have a rubric, or we can add an observation. So just be aware to choose the right one to start with, because it's not necessarily the easiest to go and change afterwards. So I'm going to go a score. Now we can attach it to a unit. We don't have any set up for this class, but you can attach it to a unit here. So let's go 1, Introduction to English. So you can attach it to a unit of work. Give the assessment a name so you know what that assessment is. How much is your assessment task going to be worth? So let's say it's worth 50 marks, and the weighting. So you can leave the weighting if you like. Let's say 20. You can do it that way. Then we know that we have 7 students in the class. You need to choose a due date of your assessment. So go and choose that. You can give it a category and decide whether it's summative or formative. You can also go in here and add your standards. So if you've attached any standards, which I've shown you in another video, to your subjects, you can go and attach these into your assessment to keep track of those as well. You can also upload any assessment attachments. So anything that you need, you can also attach those. And any particular lessons that are linked to the assessment, you can also generate and add to those as well. Then we're going to create our assessment. Okay, so we've created our assessment now, and this is where we're going to go once the assessment has been handed in, and we can start to mark and record the details. So we can omit the students if they aren't required to do the task or they're away. We can mark it as late or unsubmitted, depending on how students have gone, and we can add comments and attachments. We can add new attempts if they're required to do something else, all right, and then we can add their grade just here. So it's a pretty intuitive way to record student results so that we have all that information available for us. Now, if we head back here, we do have some more settings which we can access. So we have our categories here, which we can change. Again, we can customize colors. All right, we can change weightings. We can delete if we would like to. All right, and it's going to change your lovely pie graph here. Okay, it's telling me that my percentages are under 100. All right, it's pretty simple, pretty easy to adjust that. We also have our letter grading scales here. We can go in, we can change those, and we can also create new templates and new scales if we would like to do that. So we can actually go and create new scales based on our particular schooling contexts. All right, we also do have some other advanced grading options here. So we can go in here and we can actually manage our scales a little bit more, make some more decisions about how our grading is going to appear. We do have some display options, whether we just have raw marks, percentages, or whether we have our grading symbols. So it's not a difficult application to use. It is quite intuitive. It is really helpful if you want to keep track of your own assessments and your own marks so that you know what your students are doing. So this is what the card view will look like. And if you have them as units, they'll be separated into the units. And this is what your table view will look like. So 2 really great ways to keep your assessment information nice and up to date. Now you can download it as a PDF again. All right, so you can have that information if you'd like to keep it as a hard copy as well. So you can access all of these different components, again, from the Markboard tab at the top here, all right? Or you can access everything in Markboard from your dashboard. Here we go to the dashboard, and you can go and launch Markboard. It's a really great way to keep track of all of your marks and grades, and just make sure that you have those available just in case something happens if you're using a school management system. Well, that's just a very quick overview of Markboard from Planboard. It is a great tool, and I say if you need it, go and use it in your particular context. Well, my name is Tristan, and thank you so much for listening to another video for the Planboard series from the EdTech teacher. I hope I've shown you how easy it is to use Markboard and set it up and use it for your particular context. If you have a bit of trouble or it doesn't quite do what you want it to do because your particular schooling system or way of marking and recording is a little bit different, see if you can manipulate what you have and go from there. But Planboard and Chalk are very open to listening to people and identifying ways to make our lives as teachers much easier. Well, thanks so much for listening to another video. Stay tuned for more videos from the Planboard series coming very soon. Thank you so much for watching this video from the EdTech teacher. If you liked this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up so that you can tell other people just how amazing the videos and tutorials are from the EdTech teacher. And if you haven't done so already, we would love it if you would head over here and click the red subscribe button to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget that once you've subscribed to our channel, to click the notification bell so that you are notified when new videos are added to our channel. We are so grateful that you've taken the time to watch one of our videos, and we hope you come back very soon. Thanks very much from the EdTech teacher.